Oh, here's a few more people. Okay. Macy. Um, okay, welcome everyone. So this is a great turnout. So we've got so far 43 um, directors and above on. So this is our very first directors and above retention program, part of the Dash to Director call. So we're super excited. So just to explain a little bit, I know there's been a lot of questions around what we're doing with the retention program, and it's new, so bear with us as we get going and kind of see what our needs and our wants are. And we're always open for suggestions. So if anyone has any suggestions or questions at any time, reach out to anyone that's part of the Dash to Director group or your upline. But what we're doing is obviously we've had a lot of you, several of you faces that I'm looking at right now that have gone through the Dash to Director program and have rank advanced to director or beyond. And at some points, we've had so many people saying, okay, now what's the next step? Like, how do we get to that next level? Or can we develop a program based around that? Or can we get some help with this? Or as a director, sometimes we struggle with creating leaders on our own team, and how do we do that, and how do we motivate and push them to that level of director and above as well. So what we're going to be doing is with this Dash to Director round 3 for the months of May, June, and July, if you rank advance your highest rank, so if you are a director and that has been your highest rank, you will need to rank advance to director May, June, and July. Hit that rank. Zaya never takes a title away from anyone once you rank to a specific title, but to be paid at that title for the particular month, you have to hit that rank. So you may hit director, but then the next month, maybe your group volume isn't at 10,000, or your level 1 volume isn't at 2,000. So you may not rank advanced to director that following month or the month after that. So we have developed this retention program as part of the Dash to Director that we want you to maintain your highest rank that you have ranked for May, June, and July. We're putting that in a separate bucket that is separate from the actual Dash to Director directors. And we're going to do some incentives, some calls like this, some other things as part of that program. So in order to be part of it, we need to have you fill out that Google form. Just so what we're going to do is keep track on that form your rank May, June, and July. So what I'll do at the end of every month is run a report and go through and put everyone on the list and put what rank they ranked for May, and then put what rank they ranked for June, so that we can keep track of who is achieving that May, June, and July. So any questions with any of that, let me know. But like I said before, this is a new program that we're developing into Dash to Director. So there may be some changes that we make along the way, or additions, or things that we add to it. Okay, I already have a question. Brooke, what happens if you rank advance in May, June, or July? So beyond what your highest rank is, that's awesome. So then obviously that counts, because we should say rank your highest rank or above. And then that includes no. So do you have to hit the numbers for that new rank? No. So what we're saying is what you are as of May 1st, that rank has to be achieved May, June, and July in order for us to, and then next round, you may have rank advanced to senior director. Then next round would be senior director. So I hope that makes sense. Good question. Okay, perfect. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. And then if there's any questions along the way, add them over in the chat. I know I saw Jamie, Jackie, and Robin jump on, and they've kind of been helping me get going with this program. I shouldn't say have been helping. The 4 of us combined have been basically doing this together. So they're on this call, and if they see any questions, girls, help me out with the chat. And then they may join in as well to answer any questions or interrupt me at any time as we're going. So, okay, you guys. So I know one of the hardest things when we get to that director rank or beyond is feeling like, how do we create those leaders on our team, or how do we help someone push them to that next level? And the first thing that I want to talk about, and then there's a lot of things that I have jotted down. We're not going to cover everything tonight because we don't want to go over an hour, and we want to leave enough time at the end for questions. So we're going to, again, have more calls developed around this. But one of the things that I want to talk about is how important it is for your team to see you as a leader. So if you are a director and you only have one person on your team, you have a team. It doesn't matter if it's one person, it doesn't matter if it's 10, it doesn't matter if it's 500 or 3,000. You have a team. So you want your team to see you as their leader. So if you don't have some sort of communication right now set up with your level ones, whether that's a text chat, a messenger chat, an email chat, WhatsApp chat, whatever way you want to communicate with them, you need to make sure that there's constant communication between you and all of your level ones. So an example for myself, I have set up a group chat on my phone because that's the easiest way for me to communicate with my level ones, because we're on the go all the time. I feel like I have my phone with me all the time. So I decided to go with a text chat. I know there's several people that have WhatsApp. There's several people that use Facebook Messenger. It doesn't matter, but you need to have that communication set up with your level ones so that you have that constant communication with them, whether it's goals, incentives, new releases, information that comes out from your upline, information that comes out from corporate, whatever it is, you are sending that to your level ones. What's going to happen is when they see you doing this, you are going to encourage them to do the same thing. Because when you start developing a team, you do not want a team of, let's say, a team of 100 people and all different levels. Let's say this team of 100 people has levels 1 through 6. You do not want those 1 through 6 to see Megan Baiting as the first means of communication and the information coming from me. It needs to be direct from you to your level ones, because if that doesn't happen and it feels like they're having to look beyond their leader to get the information, that's not going to be duplicated down, and they're going to do the same thing for their teams then. So you have to make sure that you have that communication set up and encourage them. Now, I understand there's always situations where maybe a level one isn't engaged, or maybe they've taken some time off. Then that's a different case where you're going to pull maybe in some of the level twos, and that's a conversation that we can go dig into further. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is making sure that communication is set up. It is so key and so important, because you want to make sure that, so for me, with my level ones, I want to make sure Robin is communicating with her team. It's not me, it's Robin. I want Robin's level ones to see Robin as their leader. Robin then wants her level ones to communicate with her team, and they see them as their leader, not Robin. Yes, we are all leaders and we're all here to help each other, and we're all here. Anyone can reach out to anyone at any time, but by doing this, you're encouraging your level ones to step up and take leadership. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, because they don't see themselves as a leader. A lot of times they don't see themselves as a leader if they only have a couple people on their team or one person on their team, but it truly does not matter. So make sure that communication is set up, and that you are being able to communicate with them. And then I want to talk about when you are looking at your team and you are, this is what I hear so often. My team is not doing anything. I can't get my team to do anything. They don't have any parties scheduled. They're not adding reps. They're not doing anything. That is when you need to take a step back and remove yourself from your business and take a look in at each individual team. And we'll call them whatever you guys want to call them, pods, legs, each individual team, levels. We'll call them, in this case, legs. So let's say I have a team of 4 level 1s that I have sponsored. All 4 of those are a separate leg. You need to remove yourself from your personal business. Your personal business is your VIP, your parties, your communication with customers, your going live. Those things are your personal business. So when you start developing a team, throughout the weeks, the months, you have to remove yourself from your personal business and look in at your legs. And you have to look at them as individual legs and teams. Here's the thing. If I have 4 people on my team, Robin, Jamie, and Chelsea, let's just say 3, all 3 of those teams need and are at completely different places in their business. So what you need to do is remove yourself and look into each leg individually and see what their needs are. So for example, I may look, and this isn't, I'm just using Robin's name as an example. This isn't actually what's going on with her team, but I may look down at Robin's team and see that Robin has sponsored many level 1s, but there's no level 2s happening on her team.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah.
Hey, Megan, I think there's some people wanting to get in.
I don't see anyone.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I have the screen up. It doesn't show anyone yet, Jackie.
Okay. All right, sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so I'm going to look in at Robin, and I'm going to say, okay, so they're sharing the opportunity. She's adding reps, but there's no duplication happening. There's no level teams on this particular leg, this particular team. So what I'm going to do is concentrate with Robin is, okay, Robin, let's talk about duplication. Let's talk about what's happening here with your level 1s. Why are we not duplicating? Do we need to go back and train your level 1s on sharing the opportunity, booking parties? What is it that we see with her particular business? Then I'm going to look in at Jamie's business, and I may see that Jamie's duplicating all the way down. She's got level 1, level 2, level 3, but we have no volume happening. No volume coming in. Okay, to me, that would say, all right, Jamie, we need to look in at parties, booking parties, getting that volume up. And then what I'm going to do individually is work with Robin one-on-one on what I saw on her particular team. And then I'm going to work with Jamie one-on-one on what I see with her particular team. Because what happens is if you always group everything as a chat with your entire team, what's happening for Robin's team is not happening on Jamie's team. And what's happening on Jamie's team is not necessarily happening on Robin's team. And you have to look in to each individual team to truly understand what that team needs. So if you're looking in at your level 1s, it's individually. And then what I would highly, highly suggest is that you are scheduling one-on-one time with that particular person to work on, hey, what is your goal for this month? Is it director? Is it to maintain director? Is it to add reps? Is it to increase your volume? Whatever it may be, you're working one-on-one with that person to truly understand her business, him or her business. Because so often we try to work with 10 people at the same time, and you're not doing them justice or yourself justice to think that you can help all 10 at the same time. It's just not possible. You can share information and get information to them, but you can't actually drill down their business to see what they need. So it is so key and so important. My example, I don't know if she's on here. I just had a one-on-one today with Rachel, and it was awesome. We went into the back office. We dug into her team. We talked about where she wants to be by the end of October. We mapped it out. Okay, what needs to happen from now until the end of October? Okay, here's this leg. Here's what's going on. Let's concentrate on this with this person. Here's this leg. Here's what's going on with them. This is what we need to do here. You have to break it down individually to be able to truly understand each team or each leg, whatever you want to call it. And what's so good about that is when you're working one-on-one with these teams or your level ones and working one-on-one with them, it's so much easier for them to open up about what it is they're wanting or what it is they need help on versus in a huge group setting. And again, if you have, let's say you've sponsored 20 people, you can't possibly work with all 20 people for that month. You have to be able to say, okay, at the beginning of the month, what are your goals? Who's running? Who has some goals we need to hit this month? And then you need to decide who are you spending 80 to 90% of your time with. And then the next month, it may be 80 to 90% with another individual, but it cannot be all 20 at the same time every single month. Again, you're not doing yourself, you're not doing them justice. It's too hard. You're going to spread yourself too thin, and you're not going to truly understand what they need and what their goals are, or, where they're at with their business. Okay. So you guys, another thing too is make sure you have some sort of training system in place. So when you sign up a new rep, in your mind, you need to think within 48 hours, this new rep has got to be launching their business. Whether that's booking their first party, whether it's their launch party going, whether it's you and them Zooming to get things set up. However, I'm not going to tell you how you need to have your training system be step by step, but you need to have a system. You need to have a system down, because what is so key is that I've always said this business is so much a monkey see, monkey type do business. Whatever you're doing is what they're going to do. So when you bring a new rep on, if you go weeks by before we're even training or setting up their launch parties or helping them with their first party, that's how they're going to duplicate their business down when they sign up their first rep. So it is so key, you guys, to have a system in place and to work with your teams on that system. Like, what is that system? When you've signed up a rep and they've signed up a new rep, help them determine what that system is and how they need to get that new rep launched. So that is super, super key. And then you guys, when we're talking about being leaders and leadership and leading our teams and developing leaders on our team, there's so many key factors in helping you with strong leadership. And one of the first things that I wrote down tonight is, it was one of the very first things when I started that was so key to me in building my business, is show up. If anything tonight that you are writing down, write this in all capital letters and circle and highlight it. Show up. Show up for your team. Show up for yourself. Because again, if you are not showing up, they are not going to show up. If you're not engaged, your team is not engaged. If you never go live, your team is never going live. If you wait days to post the new releases, they're going to do the same thing. If you're never having parties, they're not going to have parties. If you're not recruiting and adding to your teams, they're not going to be recruiting and adding to your teams. They're watching you, they're learning from you, they're following your lead. So show up. I know one of the things that for me, I remember we kind of struggled a little bit with who our upline was in the beginning and where we were kind of not Mariah, but our like above Mariah, like our double Zaya exec at that time, or our Zaya elite, like who did we go to? And I remember always reaching out to Natalie Robinson, because she always showed up for me. She was always showed up. And it was like, I'm going to do that for my team. What she does for me, I'm going to do that, because that was key for me in building my business and knowing that I had that support and I had her there. So, and I know obviously life happens and things happen and calls could get canceled, or I'm not saying that you have to show up on every single call that has ever had, or you have to be there for every single thing. But if you're telling your team, we're going to have this, please show up. Like, unless it's something that you really have to cancel. But if you're telling your team, we're going to have this, we're doing this, show up. That is so key. Because again, they're going to follow suit. Your team is going to follow suit. And then be brave. Be brave. That was another thing for me that was huge. Like, be brave. You know, example, go, even if you don't, in the beginning, I never wanted to go live. I used to record my videos. We've shared stories like this before. Be brave. I remember when Sam Higginson asked me to do a Monday corporate call, and I wanted to say no so badly. I was like, there's no way I want to do that. One, I didn't want to prepare for it. I didn't want to have to be nervous for it. And then I told myself, I need to do this because it is so important that our team sees us doing this, because it's going to help not only, it's not only going to help yourself because of something you're stepping out of your comfort zone. It's going to help your team to see you being brave. If you're brave, they're going to be brave. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. If she can do it, I can do it. I remember when at Mini Summit, I got asked to speak on stage in front of 1,000 people, and I literally thought I was going to faint. I could not even hardly walk up on that stage because my legs were shaking so bad. It was probably one of the scariest things I've ever had to do. And so be brave for your team, because when they see that, they're going to follow suit. They're going to want to do that. They're going to, maybe that's not a huge goal of this. I don't like to speak on stage. That is not a goal of mine. That is a goal of some people's. It's not a goal of mine, but I did it to show our team what we can do. Like, this is possible. If it's possible for me, it's possible for any of you. And then be honest and transparent for your teams. It is so key to be honest. Like, I posted something about this the other day on our Connect team. I am not the best at a lot of things with Zaya. I am good at a lot of things, but I am not the best. I'm not the best at parties. I'm not the best at going live. I'm not the best at giving reviews. I'm certainly not the best at building this business. So we have to take our strengths from our teams and utilize them. If you have someone on your team that is awesome at doing parties, have her do a training on it. Have her talk to your team. If you have someone on your team that's great at going live, have her do a training on it. Have her talk about it. It is so good to pull the strengths from your team. That's what makes our team so good, is that we have so many qualities from so many of us that makes our team. So sometimes, and I know we shouldn't feel like this, but sometimes we do, we feel as leaders, we have to know everything. And if we don't know everything, it shows weakness. And it's going to show weakness to our team. And it's going to show our teams that I must not be the leader they think I am if I don't know this, and that I have to know. That is not the case. It makes you a good leader when you're honest and you're transparent, because it makes them see that, wow, if Megan doesn't know this, then it's okay if I don't know this. Or we have to make sure that, not only with our teams, but with our customers, be a leader that's, super. I know I've watched several of you. I think Tasha's on here. Tasha's really good at this. She'll say, she's super honest about her reviews with her clothes. If she doesn't think it fits great or it looks great, she's honest about it. Like, be honest, because that's what people want to see, not just customers, but your teams too. And then you guys write this down too. Have a big vision. Dream big. Have a big vision for yourself and your team, because helping others. Okay, you're not going to rise unless you're bringing others with you. They're rising with you. You're rising together. Dream big. If I would have joined this Zaya business and I would have seen that it's always the same leader rank at a certain rank, there's no new presidentials, there's no new double Zaya execs, there's no new elites, it would have deflated me. I would have thought, what's the point? Like, it's the same people all the time. But that is not the case with Zaya. It's someone different all the time. Like, look at Robin, just hit elite. She's the newest elite. There's someone all the time rising. So dream big, because in this company, truly, the sky is the limit. It doesn't matter when you start. It doesn't matter if you've had experience. It truly just matters what you do with it and what you decide you want to do with it. So always dream big, because here's another thing. When I'm watching the leaders above me rise, that motivates me. I'm like, if Katie Gaynor can do it, so can I. She's not any different than me. If Natalie Robinson can hit presidential, she's no different than me. I can do it too. Your team is going to push and follow you. If you're dreaming big, they're dreaming big. If you're rising, they're rising. And then how can you help others? Okay, this is such a key thing. I don't know, those of you that got on, we had Katie on an all-team call, and one of the things that she said the other night was, oh gosh, I wrote it down now. I can't find where I wrote it. But you can't, this is a serving company. So again, back to at the beginning when I said I hear so often, my team's not doing anything. They're not booking any parties. They're not doing anything. Anytime you ever hear anyone on your team or you catch yourself saying those things, stop and look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, what can I do to serve them? How can I help serve them? What can I do? What am I not doing to help serve them? What can I do to help them get to where they need to be? Who can I help achieve their dreams? Like, that's the best part for me. Like, again, just today in an example with chatting with Rachel, like, this is the best part for me. I love helping others achieve their dreams. It's so awesome when you can feel that you're a part of that. And whether that dream is just to have an extra $200 a month or $500 a month, or that dream is to just be part of a community because they don't have anything else, whatever it is, help people achieve their dreams. Find out what their dreams are. Reach down to your teams, ask them, have those one-on-one conversations with them. Like, why are they doing this? What do they want from this? How can you help serve them? Because when you do rise and you do achieve one of your own goals, you're going to have helped so many achieve theirs and their dreams along the way, that's going to be so much more fulfilling for you, that you know what those are. And so you have to have those conversations with your teams. To be great, we have to serve many. It has to be a serving. To be great, you have to serve many. It's all about serving. It's not about you. It's about what can you do to help others? How can you serve others? And then work hard. You guys, work hard. Success doesn't come unless we work hard with anything. If you think about it with anything, think about successful people in the sports industry. Think about successful chief financial officers. Think about successful people in construction. It doesn't matter where there's success, there's hard work. So you have to put in the work, and you have to show your teams that the hard work is what is going to bring success. So if you're telling your teams, book parties, share the opportunity, add reps, and you yourself aren't putting that work in, they're not going to do it. You have to put that hard work in. Never, ever stop your personal business. It doesn't matter what rank or what level or what amount of money you're making. You are always pouring into your personal business, because that is what your team is going to do too. So make sure that you're always working hard. And then your drive to succeed. If you're not helping your teams determine what that why is, have a workshop, have a call, have a training session about their whys. It is so important that you as leaders help your teams dig into their why, because during this business with the peaks and the valleys and the hard times and the icky stuff, that why, that deep why, is what's going to pull them through. That's going to be what you're going to have to go back to, and that's going to be what carries them through. And their why is going to evolve, and that your why is going to change. But there are so many different exercises that you can do with teams to talk about your why, if your teams don't feel comfortable, do it one-on-one. When you're talking about goals one-on-one with your teams, talk about that why and why they're in this business. Okay, and then again, let's see here. Make sure that you have, with your teams, you have a strong culture that everyone succeeds. So again, their success is your success. So again, it's not my team isn't doing this, they're not doing this, so now I'm not doing this. It's what am I doing to help serve my team to help them have success, because their success is ultimately your success. And then take action. Don't fear action, embrace it. Make sure that you're always embracing the action. That goes back to working hard. So when you're working hard, you're taking action, things are happening with your business. So with that take action, make sure that you're helping your teams create goals. So I don't know if you're not having the discussion right now with your teams about goals, make sure you do. We have those amazing goal tracker sheets. That's a great place to start when you're talking about goals. Very easy conversation. Hey, have you seen our goal tracking sheets? Let's talk about this. Where's your goal? And then if it's senior rep, all right, let's pull that out. Let's talk about the steps we need to take to help get you there. And then work through it. Work through those goals with them. If they're like unsure about what their goals are because they don't see their potential, that's another key thing that you have to talk through that with them. So here's one thing. So when I dive into my level ones, you know how I talked about how you concentrate on each separate leg, like each separate team. So if I see someone on my team that their lifetime volume is already at 10,000 or close to 10,000, but they don't have anyone on their team yet, so there's not a lot of group volume happening there, I'm immediately reaching out to that person saying, do you realize that your group volume is already at 10,000? Or you're almost there, you're halfway to director. And you know what? If we worked on sharing the opportunity and adding to your team, and we did a launch party for a couple new reps and you booked a couple parties, we could get you to director. And talking through that with them, all of a sudden they're like, are you serious? I didn't even think about that. I didn't even realize that, or I didn't even know my lifetime was there. Those are the things that you're digging into your teams looking at. And let me tell you, when you reach out and you push them and you motivate them and you inspire them, that does so much, because they're sometimes sitting back thinking, oh, director's not even, there's no way that I would even hit that. There's just no chance. But when you actually break it down and talk about what it looks like and what you need to do to get there, it is so, so huge and so helpful. I know for me personally, if no one is inspiring me or motivating or pushing me, I feel deflated a little bit. I don't feel a lot of energy. So do that for your team. Do that for your level ones. Always, always be encouraging and pushing. You're not bugging. That's another thing that we hear so often is, I feel like I'm going to be bugging my team if I'm reaching out to them, or they'll come to me when they're ready. They won't, you guys. You need to do that for them. You need to give them that push, that motivation, that accountability. Hold them accountable. Like not in a teacher, like do this way, but in a motivating, inspiring way. Relate to them. Be like, hey, look, when I first started, I was the same way. I couldn't get a damn party book to save my life. And then my upline would tell me to do this, this, and this. And I stayed consistent with that. And all of a sudden things turned around. Relate to what's happening in their business, because we've all been through it. We've all gone through those times where the peaks and the valleys and when things are hard. And then one last thing here. I got to look at my notes, so I shouldn't say one last thing. And then seek growth, you guys. To be a good leader and to always, always be stretching yourself. Always reach for new levels. Like always seek growth. Any opportunity you have to grow as a leader, take it. Never think that you're done, or that, obviously we all need to take breaks and celebrate and be proud of what we've accomplished, but always know that there's more growth to be had. Like the best part for me is always knowing in this business that there's no end game. Like we're always going to grow. We're always going to involve. We're always going to be. So continue to keep striving for that, because again, your team is going to follow suit. They're going to be inspired by you, and they're going to want to do that for themselves as well. Okay, before we open it up for questions, I want to make sure, and then I might, okay, let's see. Oh, most importantly, okay, one thing, and Jackie reminded me of this, is you guys, think back to when you first started Zaya. If you're having trouble like connecting with your team or getting them inspired, or, kind of getting things going, or you feel like things are kind of just stagnant, think back to when you first started Zaya, and always, always have fun. If we as a group make it too structured and too much training and too much this and that, we lose sight of the have fun. Honestly, in the beginning, a lot of us didn't know anything we were doing, and we were just going with it, rolling with it, having fun. And that's the energy that brings people in. That's what people want to be part of. You want to always, always just have fun with this business, because there's no perfection. You do not know everything, and you will never know everything. And make sure to always bring it back to that. Like, sometimes I feel myself doing that, where I can get stressed out about certain things, and then I have to like stop myself and kind of think back to, okay, what did we do in the beginning? What were we doing in the beginning that we were having so much fun, and how were we doing that? So always remember that, because that's so key for your teams. Again, they're going to follow suit. They're going to do the same thing. And then you guys, let your leaders fly. This is so huge. And we all struggle with this. I struggle with this. I struggle with this a lot. Like, write this down. I do not want my team to need me. You do not want your team to need you. Trust me, you do not want them to have, you want it to come down to a day where you're like, geez, I haven't heard from Brooke for forever. Gosh, she must be just doing, you want that. The beautiful thing about this business is you are going to develop leaders, and they're going to fly away from you, and they're going to build their own beautiful, beautiful thing over here, and they don't need you. That is the key, one of the most important things you can take away from tonight, because do not micromanage. Do not have your team feel like they have to have you to do this business. They don't. If you've got someone and you're like, they got it, they're good, obviously you're always going to be there for them, and you're always going to check in on them, and you're always going to be supportive. But if they've got it, take the lid off and let them go. Because the worst thing that you can do for them is keep that lid on and not let them go. We have to let our leaders develop, and we have to let them fly. So that was something I definitely wanted to make sure that I talked about. So, okay, you guys, so we've got like 15 minutes left, and I don't know, Jackie or Jamie or anyone that wants to add anything, feel free to I love what Megan says, write this down. Anyone, feel free to add anything that I missed. Again, you guys, we're going to have more of these for sure. Great tip. Letting them fly can be tough, but worth it. It can be. And a lot of times it goes back to, we feel like we have this and I struggle with it too. We have this thing where we feel like, gosh, I'm not being a good leader because they're doing it without me. They don't need me. I must not be a good leader. But you have to reverse that. That is what you want. You want your people to fly. You want them to go. And if they are feeling like they can't do that, it's going to limit their true potential of what they can do. And you guys, look to your uplines and the leaders of this company, but you're not going to do it exactly like they're doing it. I've gotten on so many trainings and so many calls and so many things that I could do to help grow, but I don't do it just like them. I do it Megan Bating way. And Jackie does it Jackie Lawrence way. Like everybody has their own style, and you don't need to do it exactly like someone else. You need to make it you. Like make it your business, your leadership, you. Don't try to do exactly how, Robin Eddy is doing it or exactly how Jamie James is doing it, because you're not them. Like you're you. Like you have to run this business how you run this business. And that's so important. It's great to pull nuggets and tips and tricks from people, but sometimes we get so caught up on that, like Natalie did it this way, I have to do it this way. You don't. Like there's no right or wrong way. It's not about that. It's about finding your leadership style and what works best for you. And we're all different in that aspect. And the most important thing is that you're looking in, you're getting out of your own way, you're getting out of your business, and you're looking in at your team's businesses and how can you serve them? Like how can you serve them on what their particular needs are? And you
Megan,
can, oh yeah, go ahead, Jackie.
oh, I was just going to say, I'll leave it open to questions, but I just wanted to add that was perfect that you just said that. But first of all, everyone on here, this is like a personal one-on-one coaching call with a presidential Anzaya. Like this is going to be so, so good. A couple of things. Yeah, this director and above retention program is being put together. Again, it's new. We've never done this before, but we're doing it anyway. So these are the kind of things that we are encouraging you to do. We don't know A to Z yet. Today is A, and tomorrow we're going to figure out B, and the next day C. But it's all with you guys in mind because we want to serve you. So I'm just so excited. This is just going to be really, really a powerful thing. But a couple of things that I thought of based on what you said, Megan.
Yeah.
Something that Robin had said on the first Dash to Director call, you have to love relationships. This is a relationship business. If you don't love people and you don't love relationships, it's going to be hard for you. And I think Robin said, well, it's probably not a business for you. It's really what she said. But you have to, that's part of serving your team. And so tonight, after all the things that Megan said, and hopefully you wrote it all down, hopefully everyone's going to get some sort of chat or group message or something like that together. If you haven't done it, you have not failed. You're not behind. It's just like, oh, okay, I can do that. I can start that. How do I do that? And then talking about drilling down into your team. If you love people, but you're shy or you're an introvert and you have found yourself leading a team and you're still shy and you're an introvert and you get nervous, ask your upline to help you. Ask your upline to get on a little chat with your level one. It can be your level one and your upline. Have your upline help you just get your foot in the door, because after these calls, these are going to be like action calls. And so, you get all of these amazing, inspirational, motivational things, but what are you going to do with it? So if you want to get in touch with your level ones, and you really, as much as you want to be brave, you just can't, tell your upline that you want to do that. How can I do that? Can you help me? And that's just my little thing. But love people, serve people. If you have that mindset of they're not doing anything, they're not working, no one's working, no one has volume, no one has this, no one has this, I'm not going to hit my numbers. Me, I. Think about what you're saying. If you hear yourself saying I and mine and me a lot, it might be time to shift it to them and ours and we and all of those group serving words, and find out what they need this week, this month, this summer. Because again, like Megan said, when you help them dream and grow, you're going to dream and grow yourself.
Yep. Love it. Thank you. Yeah, so true. If you need help, definitely reach up to, if that first team call, if you've never done a team call, can be super, super scary and you're not sure how to lead those, then just pull your upline in and have her assist one with you. Such a good point. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, just get started, guys. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it real bad the first time and just get it over with.
Totally. Anyone have any particular, I can't talk, questions or anything at all that you want to comment? If not, I'm going to leave you. Anyone? No one has any questions, comments, anything at all? Okay. One last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, and then we'll get, if you guys think of stuff after you get off here that you're like, you know what, this would be a really good topic to have a call on with our directors and above, please let us know. Comment that on the Dash Director page, private message us. We need to hear it because we need to know what you guys need, and we want to help with whatever that may be. Okay, you guys, a lot of times, and this is another thing I'm really guilty of, I want it now. I want it now, and it can't come fast enough. And I start getting in that rat race in my own head that I'm not good enough. Is it ever going to happen? And it's all about your mindset when it comes to that. Stop yourself when you have those thoughts, because here's the thing. You want to build this business with a strong foundation so that it's lasting and that you have it for years to come. And if we rush and build this thing super fast, it's going to crumble. So I found this quote and I reread it to myself a lot when I start having those feelings. So I wanted to read this, end it with this quote. Rushing to create success is like trying to build a house quickly. Speed, cost, and accuracy. Lay the foundations carefully, brick by brick. Set yourself up for sustainable growth. Build that house that will last a lifetime. So it may take you a long time to get to zigzag or double zigzag. But when you get there, your team and your foundation is going to be so strong that it's going to last you a long, long time. And that's the most important part. So don't compare, don't have compareritis or whatever, however you say that, and start comparing yourself to other people on maybe how fast they're growing, because trust me, it's much more key to have a strong foundation than rank advance super fast. And you're going to want that. And that's, again, why you're going to want to spend the time to really dig into each one of your legs and your teams so that you can continue to build them solid. So anyways, okay, that was what I wanted to end with, but let me know if you guys have any comments or thoughts or questions or anything that comes about. I will post the recording to our Dash to Director page for anyone that couldn't be here. Otherwise, we'll see you lovely ladies later. Thanks everyone for jumping on.